Good evening and welcome to the National News Broadcast. We're going to bring you the top stories from home and around the world. I'm Natalia Virvardhana.
A very good evening. I'm Lakshita Dirasingha. Let's take a quick look at the top stories for today.
The President instructs authorities not to make use of circulars and legislations as obstructions in providing relief to those affected by adverse weather conditions. The Department of Meteorology predicts a decline in rainfall. A foreign travel ban on former Minister Rajitha Senaratne. The court permits to examine his bail application. The Army Commander reiterates that security during the festive season is established. The latest two crafts of the Colombo Dockyard Company have been vested with the Ports Authority. Death sentence on 5 Saudi offenders who murdered Jamal Khashoggi in Turkey.
President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has instructed the authorities not to make circulars and legislation an obstruction in extending relief to the people affected by floods. He made these remarks at a discussion held at the President's house in Anuradhapura this morning to look into the plight of the victims of the floods. 10 out of the 22 divisional secretariat divisions in the Anuradhapura district are affected by the disastrous situation. Many houses, irrigation networks and infrastructure facilities were damaged. The President has requested the relevant sources to reconstruct the damaged facilities without delay. He has also ordered to implement the welfare program expeditiously and unabated. People's representatives and many government officials were present at the discussion. The President has met displaced persons of Rajangane Track 2 at Sri Dutugamnu Viharaya. The relevant sections were enlightened on immediate resettlement of the displaced following restoration of normalcy. Chief Incumbent of the Sri Dutugamnu Viharaya, Venerable Mahaman Kadavala Dhammasiri Thera, was also present. The President has also visited the welfare centre at Rajangane Track 9 of Sri Bodhiraja Ramaviharaya in Gamunupura and looked into the well-being of the displaced. Chief Incumbent of the Viharaya, Venerable Ihalamulle Chandradothi Thera, was also present. The President has also arrived at the Sudunelumgama Community Hall in Kotaliya, where a large number of displaced families are staying as a result of the floods affected the Polonnaruwa district. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa was also engaged in an observation tour at the Tambuttegama Economic Centre as well today. He has looked into the problems as well as prices of consumer items. The President has reiterated the need to maintain the economic centre in a manner to provide benefits with highest standards to the consumers.
Meanwhile, the Department of Meteorology predicts that the island-wide rainy weather condition will dissipate, though temporarily, from the 25th of this month. It also forecasts rain in many parts of the island tomorrow as well. Director of the Department of Meteorology, Anusha Varnasurya, said that heavy showery conditions over the island is likely to temporarily reduce to some extent in north, central and Uva provinces. Fairly heavy thunder showers are likely at some places in Sabaragamu's central and western provinces. The Disaster Management Centre says that 65,294 members from 19,095 families were affected by the inclement weather. People in 112 divisional secretariat divisions in 13 districts have been victimised. They are being provided relief through district secretariats. The bund of the Puttalam Pavattamadu reservoir has been broken due to its inability to withstand heavy water capacity. The Navy has commenced a special program to provide relief to the flood victims. 23 small crafts and 23 relief teams are being deployed in affected areas. 4 of the relief teams have been assigned in Puttalam and 8 in Polonnaruwa. 9 such groups are engaged in operations in Anuradhapura. The Department of Agrarian Services Development says that 50,000 acres of paddy lands in the Batiklo district have come underwater. Minister S.M. Chandrasen has arrived in Kalaweva, Katiyava and Rajangana to inquire into the plight of the affected persons. People in many villages are facing difficulties due to the overflowing of the Rajangana and Kalaweva. In Anuradhapura, immediate relief is being provided to the affected on the instructions of North Central Province Governor Professor Tissa Vitarana. Our correspondent says that the historic Somavati sacred site is 12 feet underwater. However, the bhikkhus of the vihara are engaged in conducting pujas and other religious observances. 200 acres of paddy land have been inundated due to the overflowing of the Vilachi reservoir in Anuradhapura. Severe damages have been caused to a house in Spring Valley Estate in Badula due to the falling of a rock boulder. However, nobody was injured. Our correspondent says there is a threat of the falling of many such boulders. Sluice gates in several tanks including Kantale, Inginimitia, Tabbova, Rambakanoya and Vamadilla remain open. 8 sluice gates of the Kantale reservoir releases 1,100 cubic feet of water in a second. Engineer in charge of the Moragahakanda reservoir, G.S. Bandara, says that water capacity at the Moragahakanda reservoir has reached the maximum level. He added that if water from the Boathana reservoir reaches the tank, they will be compelled to open the sluice gates in the Moragahakanda reservoir. Meanwhile, 22 sluice gates of the Rajangana reservoir have been opened. 30 houses have been fully submerged in water.
The Department of Communications of the Sri Lanka Parliament announces the 4th session of the 8th Parliament will commence on the 3rd of next month. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa is scheduled to declare open the event. The President is also scheduled to deliver the policy statement of the government on this day. Attention has been focused at a party leaders meeting today to conduct a party leaders meeting at 12:30 p.m. and to commence parliamentary sessions at 1 p.m. on the 3rd of next month. The agenda at the new session includes swearing in of a new member and the announcing of the new leader of the opposition. The party leaders meeting was presided over by the Speaker, Karu Jayasuriya.
The government has allocated a sum of 30,000 million rupees on development of rural infrastructure facilities. Minister Bandula Gunawardena said at a media briefing in Colombo today that each Grama Seva division will be provided a sum of 2 million rupees. Minister Bandula Gunawardena said that each Grama Seva division in the island will be granted a sum of 2 million rupees each for the development of minor infrastructure facilities without any party or other differences. Accordingly, nearly 14,000 Grama Seva divisions will be benefited. The minister further said that the Prime Minister has received cabinet approval for the distribution of 30,000 million rupees for the program. The work has been named as a journey with people's participation. The minister has also clarified on the program of the government regarding businesses that are facing the threat of being auctioned. The minister, commenting on the grievances of the business community regarding the inability to pay back loan installments, said that the government is unable to cut back their loans, but is giving a grace period for them to repay the debt. He added that the decision has been taken to suspend the auctioning of the properties of the debtors who had obtained loans of less than 300 million rupees for a period of 1 year.
A foreign travel ban has been imposed on former Minister Rajitha Senaratne. The Colombo Magistrate Court has decided to examine the anticipated bail application form submitted by former Minister Rajitha Senaratne for the 3rd time on the 30th of this month. The verdict has been delivered upon consideration of the bail application filed requesting to order an anticipated bail prior to the arrest of the applicant based on a media briefing held in connection with the white van issue. Officials, including the director of the CID, have been cited as respondents of the petition. Summons have been issued to them to appear before the judiciary on the 30th. Counsel of Rajitha Senaratne have stated that the police is preparing to arrest their client under the clauses 485 and 192 of the Penal Code. Colombo Additional Magistrate Priyantha Liyanage has ordered to further detain former Defence Secretary Hemasiri Fernando and the IGP Pujit Jayasundara, who has been faced under compulsory leave till the 6th of January. State Deputy Solicitor General Dilip Piris said that the police is preparing to record statements relating to the investigation from former President Maithripala Sirisena, former Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, the Speaker and His Eminence the Archbishop. Statements are also scheduled to be obtained from former Ministers Rushad Badiuddin and Rauf Hakim. He added that if any person deliberately delays to give a statement, it is expected to seek a judicial order in the connection. A statement is scheduled to be recorded from His Eminence the Archbishop after the Christmas. The charge filed against the accused is murder through criminal negligence in fulfilling duties to prevent the occurrence of a series of Easter Sunday terror attacks.
A group of UNP parliamentarians has visited the Valley Kota prison today as well to inquire into the well-being of parliamentarian Patali Champika Ranawaka, who remain imprisoned. Former General Secretary of the UMP Thera Benjamin said that the methodology used in arresting the MP was wrong. If there was any discrepancy in the investigations of the motor accident and if there were any charges against the parliamentarian, the law should have been implemented by presenting facts to the courts. Thera Benjamin further said they could not approve this type of political hunting. He further said that he was also subject to similar political discrimination.
Venerable Bengamuye Nalaka Thera has expressed his opinion over the arrest of the former Minister Champika Ranawaka. When a person is knocked down by a vehicle, the human nature is for the driver to get down from the vehicle and to look into the condition of the injured and to hospitalize him or to take any other relevant measures. The Venerable Thera added that, however, in this accident, such human qualities were not displayed by a person who attempted to portray himself as a Buddhist leader.
Meanwhile, two latest crafts manufactured by the Colombo Dockyards at a cost of 550 million rupees were handed over to the Ports Authority today. Minister in charge Johnston Fernando was also present at the occasion. The ceremony was conducted at the Colombo shipyard. Construction of the two vessels has commenced in February of this year under a competitive tender procedure. One craft accommodates 8 sailors, including 4 officers. The two crafts, which could bear any weather condition, are expected to be used as service providers to foreign vessels. Each vessel is able to travel with the speed of 22 nautical miles per hour. The vessels were accepted by Chairman of the Ports Authority, Retired General Daya Ratnayaka. State Minister Kanaka Herath was also present.
The Chief of the Naval Staff of the Indian Navy, Admiral Karambir Singh, left the country yesterday after concluding a successful official visit to Sri Lanka. Indian Navy Chief Admiral Karambir Singh was in Sri Lanka to discuss ways to strengthen bilateral maritime relations between the two countries. Admiral Karambir Singh, who was on a 4-day visit to Sri Lanka, met the President, the Prime Minister, the Secretary of Defence, Chief of Defence Staff, Commander of the Navy, Commander of the Army and Commander of the Air Force. Admiral Singh graced the commissioning ceremony of the midshipmen as the chief guest at the Naval and Maritime Academy yesterday. He left the island in the evening of the same day after meeting Commander of the Navy, Vice Admiral P.L. De Silva, in the VIP chamber at Katunayaka International Airport.
Army Commander Lieutenant General Shavendra Silva says that security during the festive season has been consolidated. The 3 armed forces and the police will engage in the operations. The Army Commander adds that the security program is being implemented on the instructions of the President. Army Commander Lieutenant General Shavendra Silva said that the President has instructed to exchange maximum security for the Christmas festival season, which commences in 2 days from now. He added that they are committed to provide the maximum protection. The Army commander made these remarks participating in a program to plant temple trees along the Denzel Kobbekadua road in Battaramulla this morning. The project, titled Turumituru Navaratak, is to be implemented at all army camps as well.
State Minister Lakshman Yapabewardena says that the aim of the present government is to turn loss-making government institutions into profitable ventures. He made these remarks engaging in an observation tour at the Lake House Institute today. The minister had discussed on the present situation at Lake House with the officials.
Minister
Lakshman Yapabewardena said that the expectation of the President and the state policy is not to privatize loss-making government institutions, but to turn them into profitable state institutions. He added that the necessary background will be laid within 3 months to turn Lake House into a profitable institute. Monthly progress review meetings will be conducted, and that they, as ministers, will not meddle in the administration of the institute.
The government has taken measures to streamline transport services during the festive season with the aim of providing an expeditious service. Leave of drivers and conductors of the Sri Lanka Transport Board has been cancelled from the 26th of this month to the 1st of next month. Additional buses are to be deployed to every region of the island from Petta. The Minister of Passenger Transport Management says that maximum number of buses will be in operation on the highways as well. A special luxury train is being operated from Colombo Fort to Kandy during the festive season starting today. Additional trains will be deployed from Badulla to Colombo and also from Colombo to Badulla on the 24th, 27th and 29th of this month.
Minister Mahinda Amaraveera says that local paddy stocks will be turned into rice immediately and handed over to the people. And he was addressing a ceremony at Bodhiraja Rama Viharasthana in Angunapala Palace. Minister Mahinda Amaraveera said that the paddy stocks will be turned into rice without delay and distributed among people. He added that a program will also be implemented to bring into the open the paddy stocks being concealed at private mills and to release them to the market shortly. The All Ceylon Essential Food Stocks and Retailers Business Association has commended the decision of the government to fix a maximum price for rice.
His Eminence Archbishop Malcolm Cardinal Ranjith requests the government to give prominence to environmental conservation in implementing power projects. His Eminence made this request when Minister Mahinda Amaraveera has called upon him today. The meeting took place at the Archbishop's residence this morning. His Eminence has pointed out that power sources such as coal and fossil fuel cause a harmful impact on health. People in Kalpiti are reported to be facing many environmental hazards as a result of the Norachole coal-powered power station. His Eminence has requested the minister not to allow the construction of any additional coal-powered power stations. The minister said that the president gives prominence on green energy sources. He added that attention has also been focused to take decisions in the implementation of power projects through a committee comprising of veterans in the field and religious leaders. Meanwhile, measures have been taken to display name boards in Sinhala language as well at all sacred places of Buddhist worship in India. The decision has been taken following a request made from the Government of India by President of the Sri Lanka Mahabodhi Society, Venerable Barnagala Upatissa Thera. The step has been taken as large numbers of Sri Lankans are engaged in pilgrimages in India. The initial phase of the program has commenced from the Chetiyagiri Viharasthani in Sanchi, which was constructed by Emperor Asoka. The Viharasthani is located on a hilltop in a place called Avanti, 46 kilometers away from Bhopal city in Madhya Pradesh. Venerable Udagama Tapassithera of the Mahabodhi Vihara says that around 200 stupas had been constructed on this place of archaeological importance. 64 stupas were in the Sanchi sacred area alone. The reason for the construction of a large number of religious monuments in this area appears to be due to the fact that this was the meeting place of King Dharmashoka and his queen Princess Devi, and also this being the birthplace of Arahat Mihindu Mahathera and Sangamita Therani. The relics of chief disciples Saryut and Mughal Arhats were also said to have been placed in the stupas. Minister of Tourism of the Indian central government Prahlad Singh has commenced the program of declaring open name boards in the Sinhala language from the Sanchi recently. This is the first instance of name boards in the Sinhala language being displayed in a Buddhist sacred place outside of Sri Lanka.
And now on the stock update, the all shares price index closed at 6,031.81 points, dropped by 12.92 points, and the S&P SL20 index closed at 2,927.69 points, also dropped by 18.20 points at the end of trading in the Colombo Stock Exchange today. Turnover was over 388 million rupees. And here's a summary of market details of the Colombo Stock Exchange today. We'll bring you news from overseas right after this break. And now on foreign news. A court in Saudi Arabia has sentenced 5 people to death and jailed 3 others over the murder of the journalist Jamal Khashoggi last year. Khashoggi, a prominent critic of the Saudi government, was killed inside the kingdom's consulate in the Turkish city of Istanbul by a team of Saudi agents. All 11 unnamed people on trial were found guilty of the killing, which triggered the kingdom's biggest diplomatic crisis in the last decade. Khashoggi, a Saudi journalist and a Washington Post columnist, was critical of Saudi Arabia and Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman's policies. He was allegedly killed and dismembered on October 2, 2018, in the Saudi consulate in Istanbul. The Saudi Attorney General's investigation has showed that the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman's former top advisor, Saud al-Qahtani, had not proven involvement in the killing, and after being investigated and released without charge. The court also ruled that the Saudi Consul General in Istanbul at the time, Mohammed al-Khattabi, was not guilty. He was released from prison after the verdicts were announced. After holding 9 sessions, the trial concluded that no previous intent was shown by those found guilty to murder, according to state TV. Meanwhile, Special UN Rapporteur against Khalmad said in June the credible evidence was available warranting further investigation that high-level Saudi officials were individually liable for Khashoggi's death.
Now, Boeing celebrated a successful ending to a crewless test mission that 2 days earlier failed to reach the orbit needed to dock with the International Space Station.
All 6 airbags are confirmed to have deployed.
Boeing Starliner astronaut spacecraft landed in White Sands, New Mexico on Sunday.
Starliner touches down in the desert in New Mexico.
The early morning landing caps a turbulent 48 hours for Boeing, after faulty software forced officials to cut short the unmanned mission aimed at taking an astronaut capsule to the International Space Station. While an automated timer error prevented Starliner from attaining the right orbit to dock with the space station, its core objective...
You look at the landing, it was an absolute bullseye.
Representatives from both NASA and Boeing said there was still plenty to cheer.
I can tell you this morning we're all very excited that a whole lot more things did go right. Went very, very well, as a matter of fact. In fact, you could argue that some of the hardest parts of this mission have now been proven to be very, very capable. And so that's all positive.
The failure to dock with the space station came as Boeing sought an engineering and public relations victory amid a corporate crisis over the grounding of its 737 MAX jetliner following 2 fatal crashes of the aircraft.
And another subjective observation I'd say that we find very encouraging at Boeing is The vessel looks great. They're telling us there's hardly any charring, perfectly level on our airbags, and that bodes really well for reusability.
Boeing is competing with billionaire Elon Musk's rocket company SpaceX to revive NASA's human spaceflight capabilities.
Liftoff.
SpaceX carried out a successful unmanned flight of its Crew Dragon capsule to the space station in March.
Successful deployment of the Dragon spacecraft.
Meanwhile, Santa Claus arrived early in central Thailand today, riding atop elephants instead of a reindeer-driven sleigh to hand out presents to primary school students. Former hoods decked in Santa Claus-styled robes arrived on the backs of Santa hat-clad elephants at a local primary school in Ayutthaya province on Monday morning. Overjoyed students were each handed wrapped presents ranging from candy to toys by the elephants' trunks. According to one of the event's organizers, Ladtong Tari Mipan, the Ayutthaya Elephant Palace has been holding this event for the past 15 years. The event ended when the students and elephants sat in the shape of a Christmas tree in the school's courtyard.
And on cricket, Pakistan has won the second test match of the current series against Sri Lanka by 263 runs today. Accordingly, Pakistan has won the series 1-0. This was the first time Pakistan winning a test series in their country after 13 years. At the end of the day's play in Karachi yesterday, Sri Lanka was at 212 runs for the loss of 7 wickets in their second innings. The Sri Lankan players were not able to score a single run today, and Nasim Shah took 5 wickets for the Pakistan team. Abid Ali was both the man of the match and the man of the series. This was the first occasion Pakistan winning a test series against Sri Lanka after the 1991-92 test series.
Man of the match, man of the series, big. Getting 100, Pakistan getting runs, getting wickets. Right, that is what we have from the presentation area.
The 39th National Squash Championship tournament was ended at the Air Force Squash Stadium in Ratmalana yesterday. Ravindu Laksiri won the men's title, beating Shamil Wakir 3-0. This was the 7th occasion Ravindu winning the National Squash Championship.
He will also receive cash prize of 15 national champion. He will also receive a cash prize of 25,000.
In the Women's Championship finals, Fatum Izzadeen beat Mihiria Metsarani. This was the first time Fatum Izzadeen securing the Women's National Squash title.
And that's all the stories we have for you today. We'll see you tomorrow at the very same time. Good night.